city of Cedar Rapids is now looking to the state to help pay for flood protection.
The City Council is preparing to submit an application to the Flood Mitigation Program to use state sales taxes to fund the project. Fox 28 News reporter Jason Hackett live in Cedar Rapids now to tell us how this plan differs from the ones in the past. Jason?
Well, in this case, Scott and Tiffany, a big chunk of the flood protection will be funded by state sales tax growth over the next 20 years, meaning places like the Czech Village here on the west side will get the flood protection they've needed.
Amanda White with the Village Meat Market remembers.
Roofs crashed into trees, everything had turned to garbage.
A few doors down, antique store owner Ken Lewis remembers.
A devastating mess. Dirty, muddy, smelly.
When you nearly lose everything you've ever worked for, how can you forget?
You can sort of say the words, but it's just, there's no way to describe how you feel about that.
That was 2008. This is now, and the community has rallied ever since.
I'm not the only business owner down here that has worked hard to bring the Czech Village back.
And to keep it that way, they say flood protection, like the type proposed by the city today, is crucial.
$264 million from the state to help us with this very needed project.
Perhaps the most significant part of the proposal.
But that would allow us to complete flood protection on both sides of the river.
Previous to this, much of the talk has focused on protection for the east side, including a project from the Army Corps of Engineers. People like Lewis on the west side felt they were left hanging.
They thought it wasn't worth it or something like that, or the property values weren't enough.
Knowing personally the gap between prosperity and disaster is only as wide as the Cedar River, he's ready.
Hopefully it would protect us from the next miserable flood that wants to come down here and wash us away.
Now, this funding will provide a large chunk of the $570 million needed for total protection. The city is also looking to the federal government for money for protection. The city is presenting their case to the Flood Mitigation Board on the 21st. We're covering the corridor tonight in Cedar Rapids. Jason Hackett, Fox 28 News.
Several cities are also trying to get funding for flood protection. If approved, projects in Dubuque, Coralville, Waverly, Iowa City, Winterset, and Storm Lake would total about $400 million. These cities will also present their applications with Cedar Rapids on the 21st.